dink and dunk. It's a lot of that stuff, but it's very effective. So there is no quarterback in the league who has seen more repeatedly, more regularly, the exact type of defense Vic Fangio is going to be running, because everyone was copying Vic Fangio's defense to stop Patrick. So in the last Super Bowl, Vic wasn't there, but he was a consultant. The Chiefs scored 38. I just think that is a sneaky, huge edge for Kansas City, because
Okay. You gotta stop with this nonsense. You gotta stop with this nonsense. You gotta stop with this nonsense. Okay? Fangio. Oh my gosh. As for the weeks leading up to today's game, this was before the Super Bowl, sources say Fangio assisted the offense, not the defense. Do you want me to read it again? As for the weeks leading up to today's game, the Super Bowl. If you guys remember that Super Bowl where the Eagles played the Kansas City Chiefs, you guys remember that Super Bowl? Sources say Fangio assisted the offense. I'm going to highlight just here. Offense, not the defense. He's been involved with self-scouting and projects helping Eagles OC Shane Steichen's unit as it gears up for Spags Chiefs defense. Pretty sure that that offense did pretty darn good. So just stop. Stop. How do you not know this? You had a whole team of people working for you. I should make those mistakes because I don't got a whole team of people working for me. I mean, credit to the Philadelphia Eagles fans that have pointed this out, because Nick keeps saying this. And it's what really alerted me to be like, let me try to find. And again, you know what this is? NFLnews.com. That's what this is. NFLnews.com by Ian Rappaport. Seems like a pretty trusty news source to me, right? My goodness. I mean, this is why it actually really is, and why I'm such a proponent of reading comments. And you know what, to be fair, and again, I'm not complaining. I have nothing but gratitude. But yeah, it's reading comments and going back and forth. It's exhausting. I mean, it really is. Life would be significantly easier if I didn't read any comments. No doubt about it. I would not be called a clown, dumb, this. And I also wouldn't get any of the positives, because I get plenty of positives and people are really awesome, and the comments are wildly, overwhelmingly way more positive than negative. But, you can have 10 people tell you how amazing you are. All it does is take one person to tell you how much of a clown you are to be like, oh man, do I have makeup on? Do I have a big red nose? Like, it's just, that's just the way the mind works. But the best thing about reading the comments is it keeps you in check. There's times that I make mistakes or misspeak, or a point doesn't come out exactly how I would want it to. That famously happened with a Lamar Jackson video, where you would have thought that I got caught on a hot mic saying something very, very bad, which I was just like, bro, we're just talking about football here. And I actually enjoy some of those experiences, because it's fun to be able to be that connected to a community, and it's fun to see people care so much, and course correct in real time. I've always seen this channel as a living, breathing, community. Like, when I say, like, I'm trying to build a community, which, I mean, we built it. I mean that. I really, really do. And, of course, I can't respond to every single comment under the sun, and not every single comment I read can land in the same way that another comment can. But it's so important, because I just question how such a wrong take can be repeated without it being alerted. And it's just like, it's one thing just to kind of have a wrong take. That's fine. Everyone does it. I have plenty of wrong takes. I have plenty of wrong opinions. I make no, I make no claim to have all the answers, or to know everything, or to be perfect. Anytime I criticize someone's take here, it is always a take, and it's never to be like, you're wrong and I'm right because I'm the best and you're not. That's never ever the intention. It's always like, no, This is just my view and that's your view, whether I agree with it or disagree with it. No matter how intense or passionate it may get. But when you have a wrong claim and a wrong take that then births other takes and claims, like that's the problem. I've used this example before. It's like, if you're doing a mathematical equation, anyone who's taken like algebra and stuff, you have to show your work and you often are doing step by step by step by step. If you just do one calculation wrong at the top, everything else can actually be perfect and make perfect mathematical sense. But you're doing it based off of wrong prior knowledge. So it's like I can solve, if I think that X equals 5, when I'm now trying to solve for Y, I could do everything correct, but I will still reach the wrong answer that Y is not 10 because X does not actually equal 5. It actually equals 3. Therefore, that's going to change everything else in the list of the calculations that you need to do. So it's just like, it's so frustrating to see because this is the Super Bowl, man. This is the Super Bowl. We talk about how this is like the biggest game in all of sports, and we got literally 2 weeks leading up to it. Eagles versus Chiefs. There's all the money in the world, all the stakes in the world, legacies. Like, this stuff matters. In fact, it matters so much that people have to fight against it mattering so much during the regular season. Because it's all too common for just people, well, wait until the playoffs. Yeah, wait until the playoffs. It's like, sure, I guess there's no point in watching week 8 of the NFL. And it's like, it's a thing that you have to kind of combat against. And you have people who play great during the regular season or whatever, and then, get MVPs. And they're like, yeah, but what do you do in the playoffs? What do you do? Okay, fine. You could win the AFC Championship game, but can you win the Super Bowl? And like, now here we are having our takes about the literal Super Bowl. And it's based off of just a claim that is wrong. That's just straight up wrong. That's incorrect. That's being repeated many times. It's frustrating to see. Because I'll also be honest, I rely on a lot of these shows to educate me on certain topics. Because again, I can't keep track of every single thing that happens for every single team in every single city. It's impossible. I'm a human being. I'm one person. That's why they have a team of people. And that's why mistakes will happen. And that's why I always talk about this to the fans of other fan bases. I'm like, you know what? I don't know exactly when so-and-so is due back with his injury. You guys watch the local news. You guys are watching, like I've said that, especially when Detroit Lions were going through all their injuries. I was like, you guys are definitely more dialed in. I'm watching all these games without a shadow of a doubt, but like, no matter how many games I watch, no matter how much I unpack all this stuff, you will have a better understanding of when, whoever is going to come back, with his injury, the progress he's made. And so I lay it out to them. I say, please let me know. Again, it makes it so much of a more connected community. But like, to me, this is just like, kind of like, how has this not been corrected? It's just so irritating because I could take that and be like, oh wow, that's interesting. Yeah, Fangio was a consultant in 22 defensively. Yeah, that defense was a little rough. I don't know. Like, huh? We need to stop. And 22 is not 24. Do people know that? Do you guys understand that the year 22 is not 2024? I don't know. Maybe go on YouTube and search, is the year 2022 the same as 2024? I'm sure there's probably really interesting videos about it. Really interesting videos. But like 2 years changed. The Eagles are a completely different team with different coaches. And also, when is a consultant, even if he consulted on the defense, when is the consultant the same as the actual coach? Please tell me when that's the case. Even if Fangio was the consultant, is he out there calling plays? Is he out there talking to all the players? So like, no matter what it is, it's still wrong. Was Cooper DeJean there? Was Jalen Carter there? Was Mitchell there? Was Bond there? We could do this all day. It's just an absurd take. Was DeAndre Hopkins there for the Kansas City Chiefs? Was Hollywood Brown there for the Kansas City Chiefs? Was Xavier Worthy there for the Kansas City Chiefs? No. That's too many differences to use the past as a frame of reference. There's too many differences. We already know the Eagles' defensive rankings from 22 to 24, how much of a difference it is. And we know how much of a difference the offense has been for the Kansas City Chiefs from 22 to 24. So, like, all of these takes are just, it's just not anything of substance, of reality. I mean, maybe it is a benefit of being so familiar with addiction and rehabs and recovery and all that type of stuff, because there's such an emphasis on just for today, just for today, just for today. I don't need to be sober for my whole life. I just need to be sober for just for today. And it is such an emphasis of like, focus on today. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. It doesn't matter what happened in week 3. Again, we know this to be the reality. Because if you constantly just use the week before or somewhere before as a predictor, then the Kansas City Chiefs would have never won a Super Bowl. Or the Kansas City Chiefs lost to the Bills in the regular season. Well, we saw what the Bills did against the Kansas City Chiefs in the regular season. Therefore, that means that last time they played, the Bills won. All right, let's not even play the game then. Bills win, baby. Let's go. It just doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. I guess the really the best predictor, if we want to keep using the past, is, well, then I guess Patrick Mahomes will just never be as good as Tom Brady because he just kept losing to him. Again, I'm not playing by those rules. These guys want to play by those rules. If those are the rules that you want to play by, my hands are tied. Like I said, I'm just trying to do my best to try to figure out what the rules are and when we play by them. I don't know, man. I don't know. And although I don't go by what players say, because you can see Kelsey says, an Eagles defense going to be our biggest test yet. Nick is acting like it's not. And again, I'm not going to be like, well, even Kelsey says it, because it's like, what those players are saying, to the media is, that's a bunch of, it's going to be a bunch of nonsense. Let's be real here. If Kelsey really believed that this defense was trash and that no one could stop him, do you think he's going to say that? Like, he's not. Not even Kelsey's going to say that. Especially not this new version of whoever the heck he is. I don't know, man. We've had some really, really bad content surrounding this Super Bowl. I'm going to be honest. I've really tried my best. To make it interesting, to make it fun, to make it insightful, thought-provoking, knowledgeable, whatever. And again, I create bad content all the time. I'm not going to pretend like every video I make is a home run. Definitely not. But this Super Bowl, the conversations that are being had just range from, why are we talking about this? Why does this matter? Well, this is just completely incorrect. This is just straight up insulting, to, I guess that makes sense. And I can see that if I close one eye and cover the other. Like, I don't get it. And ironically, this was technically one of the better discussions. And I don't mean this is just about first things first. I just mean in general. To be clear, that whole rant is not just, like, that's not just this. This is just the conversations as a whole around this Super Bowl. I'm going to be very clear about that. Very clear. But the whole who has the edge, KC offense or Philly defense, like I covered that in a separate video that was a deeper dive. And it's like, that question is actually an interesting question. That question is actually thought-provoking. But of course, the way it was unpacked was just, well, Patrick Mahomes is king, Andy Reid is king, and Fangio won't be able to do anything. And it's like, and then you get this part of this take where it's kind of like, and Fangio was the consultant for the Eagles in 22, and how did that work? I don't know, man. When did you become a 1920s gangster? Like, what are we saying? Come on, see? Fangio can't stop me. No, he can't. I don't know. I'm going crazy with all this. I'm going crazy. And Colin Cowherd has been sick. So, like, you know, we've had J-Mac, you know, for these last couple of days. And you're talking about Luca. Like, I don't know, man. Like I said in my other video, there's like so many other fascinating things that we could be talking about, you know? Kellen Moore versus Spags. How does Kellen Moore get ready for a game like this? You know, even talk about Jalen Hurts' mentality going into the Super Bowl compared to the last one. Saquon Barkley. You know, what does a three-peat mean for Patrick Mahomes? Will he put too much pressure on himself to try to achieve it? Does Andy Reid? You know, is this Kelsey's, you know, last big game? Would he retire? I don't know. There's just still other more interesting things. And again, obviously some of the concrete X's and O's as well, which I've already tried my best to unpack, you know, to a degree. I don't know. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Vic Fangio consulting for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2022 for that defense? What do you guys think about everything I just said, really? I don't have a concrete question to throw to you guys. You just share your thoughts. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way. Let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.